If you take a look at the Ten Commandments, one of the ones that you will see is a commandment to keep a certain day holy, to set it apart and to keep it holy. That day is the Sabbath. The Sabbath first shows up in the days of creation, where God spends 6 days working, creating all things that are. And on the seventh day, he rested. Back to that in a minute. What ends up happening is when we hear don't do anything, we inevitably focus on the word do, and we figure out what it is that we're not to do and how much of it we're not to do. And so what happened is throughout Jewish culture, and you have the leaders just trying to hash out what exactly is work and what exactly is rest, and they would be like, how much weight can you lift, how much food can you prepare, how many miles can you walk, when have you crossed the line from rest into labor? Well, Jesus comes on the scene and says what they've done is they've made man a servant of the Sabbath instead of the Sabbath a gift for man. Because here's how this day works. In creation, you have day and night. So you have the first day God creates this, and this, and then there was day and there was night the first day. On the Sabbath, it doesn't have that. It's just the seventh day he rested, implying that this rest then went on forever. There is no end to it. So Jesus comes on the scene and says, the day of rest was given in the midst of the law for you, that it's there so that you can rest from your labors, so that you can rest from the things that you have to do, that life in a sinful and fallen world is hard, and that you have a day set aside that you can rest. It also is a day now that we will go to church. Our Sabbath is, we've moved it from Saturday to Sunday. That's a different thing because of the resurrection and Easter. But it's a day that we go and we hear from God. We go hear the good news of what he has done to reconcile sinners to himself. And Jesus says that he is Lord of the Sabbath. And later on in the book of Hebrews, where Jesus actually is our Sabbath rest. But not just one day of Sabbath rest, not just a day that we happen to get to rest in Jesus, but he is our Sabbath rest like that first Sabbath in the creation, that's the rest that has no end, that has no night. It is a Sabbath that goes on for all eternity. So the Sabbath is a gift to you that is ultimately, of course, like everything is, about Christ. Christ is your Sabbath rest, and he is a rest that does not end. Here in this life, until eternity, we have a day set aside where we go explicitly to hear this. We go to the house of God to hear what he has done to give us rest, to free us, to redeem us, to forgive us, until that day finally comes where all labors will cease and we will live in that rest in its fullest form forever.